They beat the Indiana Fever Tuesday night 100-91 for their 7th win in the last 8 games. Kelsey Plume had 25 points and 11 assists. Rakia Jackson also dropped 25 points. The Sparks are now just 2 games below 500 at 13-15. On July 3rd, they were 5-13 and showing no signs of being a playoff contender. The Sparks are at home Thursday night against the Connecticut Sun. The Dodgers beat St. Louis 12-6. Max Muncy and Teoscar Hernandez each had 4 RBIs. The Angels lost to Tampa Bay 7-3. Tampa Bay scored all 7 of their runs in the 4th inning. An oldie but goodie is coming back to the Chargers. Wide receiver Keenan Allen, who played his first 11 seasons with the Chargers, re-signed with the team for a 1-year deal. The 33-year-old Allen played last season with the Chicago Bears. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black Altadena is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I'm red. Okay, G's up. Little scrap. I got money. Be a me. Money in the bank. See you,
I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
Shout out what you drink.
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
It sure is. Couldn't have said it better myself. We want to build wealth, and we want to be part of recycling black dollars. We want to celebrate those who are doing so. And we have one such individual in the studio right now. He's one of those rare persons who is actually born in Los Angeles, grew up in foster care, went to Crenshaw High, went to Pepperdine. You just West Coast all day long. You just like the Kendrick Lamar of the food business. He managed food and beverage at the Forum and the Greek Theater until he opened his own restaurant. Michael Smith, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
They not like us. Anyway, so you are the owner of the Bayou Grille.
Yes.
And you have had that business for quite a while.
Opened up Martin Luther King Day, 1999.
1999. Yeah. You were partying like it was 1999.
Still trying to do so.
And you know, the thing about it, restaurants are a tough business, right?
Yeah. You just never know what changes. Whether like when we had COVID, everyone just tried to spike the food costs. So, you know, that's the thing you have to deal with. Recessions, change of ways people go about publicizing. When I started, you know, you could do flyers, you go through the Wave newspaper, things like that. Now you have to do social media.
Right. Well, apparently you've withstood a couple of recessions and COVID.
Yeah, very fortunate, very blessed. 2008, I know we went through a tough recession.
Yeah, I call it the Bush crash of 2008. But still, you continue serving it up. You're over on La Brea for those in LA, which is that technically that's Inglewood?
That is Inglewood,
La Brea,
yes.
Centinela. Yeah. Bayou Grille, authentic New Orleans taste is what the sign says.
Yeah, well, we have so many people out here that are from the South. You better have your act together. They will call you out on it if it doesn't taste like their grandmother's.
You know, it's funny. When we named the New Orleans corridor in South LA over there on Jefferson, I learned so much. I didn't even know that Catholic church over there was a hub for all these folks coming from New Orleans, like the Bakewell family that owns, the LA Sentinel and all that. I didn't realize what a big black New Orleans community was here in Los Angeles.
Yeah. They call it La La.
Okay.
From Louisiana to LA.
And so you say people they expect a certain level of New Orleans-ness, Louisiana-ness in their food.
Well, everything from, they'll look at the color of the roux of the gumbo.
Oh my goodness.
And that's okay. The main thing we try to do, and we've always tried to do, is stay consistent. If someone's eating there and they may come back a year later, we want to make sure it tastes the same.
I think that's what kills restaurants.
Absolutely.
I can't tell you how many times I say, "Oh, it used to be good, but now it's not so good."
No, and sometimes the trick is, especially during now with food costs so high, you want to do what you can to make sure that everything you buy is still the same, but obviously do what you can to also kind of cut your cost.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because one restaurant that I used to go to, these seemed like certain things became not real anymore that used to be real. What would you say is your most popular, most famous dish?
Well, you know what? A lot of it has to do age group.
Okay.
You get the 20s, the 30-year-old. They love chicken strip. They love the hot wings. We sell a lot of hot wings.
Okay.
As you get older, then you get more people that want fish. We carry catfish, snapper, salmon, and we also grill, which is a big thing because people are more in tune with their health now.
Right.
And then obviously the gumbo is just a staple. We can do it, and we can do it cheaper than they can probably do it at home, because trying to buy everything retail, whether it be crab, shrimp, and everything, can become a little bit difficult. We can do it in a way where they know how it tastes. They can, keep your costs down. And if they're working, they don't have to worry about staying in the kitchen and trying to do it all day. We can take care of that for them. So the gumbo is big. The fish is big, and like I said, we say Bayou Grille. Well, we say grill for a reason, because we try to do what we can to make things a little healthy also.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the menu, and it's making me hungry in the morning, so I'm going to stop doing that now. But you're an Angelino, born and raised, so where does that Louisiana Creole thing come from?
Well, when we first started, I had two other partners. I was still running the Forum Club when the Lakers were still playing there. And
yes.
they needed someone, an extra person to help out financially. So I came on. One of the people that was involved was a gentleman from New Orleans. So he was very good. Actually, he was my boss at one time at the Forum. He came up with a lot of the recipes. The jambalaya, doing a dry jambalaya as opposed to a wet one, how he did the gumbo, the etouffee. So he was really good at that. So that's how we started. And like I said, we just tried to stay consistent over the years. People have an expectation on how the food tastes. And I've heard from different people at different places, sometimes when ownership changes or they're trying to cheapen their costs, they'll say it doesn't taste like it used to be. And I just never wanted that to be the fact. So I did not mess with anything that was going well. So he started that.
Broke.
Yeah. And so we've just kept it the same over the years.
And you're the one that's still standing.
I'm the one that's still standing.
20 years later, it's more than 20 years
26.
later.
It'll be 27 in January.
Wow, congratulations. Most restaurants go out of business within 5 years, many
Right.
within the first 2. It's the Crenshaw guy that's still standing.
Well, that says something right there. Just very blessed. I know the stories, especially the places that I go shop. I've seen people that have come and gone that had their place, and then they're no longer there doing it. So, like I said, it's just a blessing. We try to stay consistent. We try to maintain a good reputation, which is so all important. Because people, if they haven't been there before and someone asks them a question, what do you think of Bayou Grille? We hope the first thing that comes out of the mouth is, oh, yeah, their food is authentic. It's good.
Yeah. So your bio says you come out of foster care, but you ended up at Pepperdine. So that's quite a trajectory in itself. Are you just a driven individual? Like, what do you attribute that success to?
Well, yeah, I was very fortunate. The foster family that I was with, my foster father's brother was the minister of the church that I go to now, Normandy Church of Christ.
That you still go to?
Yeah, still go to.
That's beautiful.
Matter of fact, we're getting ready to celebrate our 62nd anniversary of that church being there.
Wow.
And he actually was an instructor at the Pepperdine, Los Angeles. Just best man I ever know, Carol Pitts Jr. And so he had a big influence on me where, I had the same issues that everyone else had. I mean, I grew up in the neighborhood. I had friends that were in gangs, ones that sold drugs. And somehow I knew that playing ball with them during the day is okay, but whatever they do at night, I need to kind of break away. And I did that. And just, like I said, just very fortunate. I had friends that unfortunately have passed away violently, whatever. And, grace of God, I can say he's always been with me where, with all that, I've been fortunate to just kind of, stick in there and do the right thing.
Do you have any advice that you would give to other entrepreneurs, especially right now? I mean, you are still standing, and it is a tough environment today, and it looks like it could get a little bumpier because we've got tariffs and other policies coming in that may make things even more expensive.
Well, one, if you're doing it just to make money, you're going to be disappointed. You want to have a passion, but even that, just because you can cook well doesn't mean things are going to go well. You want to surround yourself with people that you can trust, people that will give you advice, people that will help you and not feel like, you can't understand their reasons for saying some of the things they say. So at the beginning, and I tell everybody when they start the restaurant, you're probably going to be working a lot of hours.
Yep.
Because you can't afford to bring in all the people because you have to worry about food cost. You have to worry about labor, just things like that. So one thing, you have to have a passion. It's the difference between just having a job and having a career. It's got to be something that you can see this is going to work. This has worked for me in the past, not just with the business wide, but how you treat people, your relationships.
Customer
like I said,
service.
and reputation is so big. So everything is not perfect. It's not going to. One thing's not going to work for everyone, and the other thing, stay on your knees.
You stay prayed up.
Yeah, that's it. So.
Yeah, 26, almost 27 years later. Any regrets?
No. You know what? Being able to kind of do things the way you want, and I won't say not answer to anyone, but the other thing, and one thing I didn't put on there, the young people that have worked for me, a lot of them, it's their first job. So you're molding people, teaching them it's important to be on time. It's important to not use everything as an excuse to either not come in, to be late, or to have a bad day. Just little things. So you're molding people. I'm very fortunate. Two of my stepsons is Nipsey Hussle and Blacc Sam.
Wow.
Their first jobs were there.
Okay.
And as you can see, Blacc Sam.
Literal stepsons.
Stepsons, yes. Wow. I was married to their mother.
Wow.
So their first job was there. And as you can see with Blacc Sam.
So that's where the marathon started.
There you go. Oh, and he'll say it a lot of times when they first started. Nipsey was young enough. He was about 14. He was just happy to be able to get some shrimp and cupcakes and to sweep around. But they knew, especially Blacc Sam, knew exactly what they wanted to do. As far as having their own business, be able to be successful. And even now, you could see how driven he is. He's, has 2 of them and is trying to do some other things. And
did you give him any advice on the Marathon Grill? Did you?
No, you know what? It's been long enough where he had a vision exactly what he wanted to do.
Okay.
But, and I would tell Nipsey this all the time. Make sure you surround yourself with people you can trust, because as you get more successful, there are people even in your own backyard that want to keep you down because they don't want to move on. They want to kind of stay as they are. And so trusting is just very important, to have people around you that are going to build you up and not bring you down.
Oh, how sad that's exactly what ended up happening to Nipsey. Yeah.
Yeah. Miss him to this day.
Yeah.
And it's tougher when it's someone famous, because you're always reminded with a billboard or something on TV or radio and stuff of relationships, of fun times you had. So, it's a tough thing sometimes.
I mean, that must be really crazy, because it just the way that, and you probably know him as Ermias, right?
Yes.
Not Nipsey.
Yeah.
Ermias Ashkenaam. But the thing about it is they're everywhere. It seems like people that didn't even know him as an artist when he was here, there's murals in Hollywood. There's murals everywhere. It's wild to me. They got a Metro card now. I feel like the cops were trying to chase him down when he's here half the time. Now they're giving him a Metro card with his name on it. That must be bizarre for them.
It's just so weird. When he passed, I had a lot of older people come into the restaurant to get something, and they said, you know what, I didn't really know his music, but then I heard interviews with him and stuff, and they just realized how sharp and how deep he was. And I think that's his biggest legacy. It's not just the music, it's just making sure he makes an impact. And that's with anybody, in your life. And even what I try to do is just to make an impact on people's lives. It may be in music. It may be in the community, whatever it is, but do what you can just to make sure that you make a positive impact, especially our folks at this time, because right now things are just crazy out there.
Yeah, things are real crazy. So how can we support you? How can we support Bayou Grille in your business?
Well, I say because we don't sell alcohol, catering sometimes is the big equalizer. And we've done, all around here, whether it be repasses, whether it be just something at work. We do a lot of schools where they have teacher appreciation. We drop stuff off. We have a room there that people can use to have their meetings. So the biggest thing is don't forget about us. I know sometimes with TikTok and Instagram and everything, some people are really good at constantly getting things out. And obviously I'm the old school, so Facebook is a big thing. But when I've done things and people say, oh yeah, I forgot that you were there, or just trying to remember that we have some things that maybe other people don't have. And then obviously, they can't beat us as far as, our quality of food, because we're not going to cheat them and stuff. So, just don't forget us. If there's something that we can do and make it convenient for you, let's take care of you.
Is that because you don't have a liquor license, or is it
That's
a philosophical? Correct. Getting a liquor license is really hard, huh?
Yeah, at one time I tried to do that, even tried to make it simple with a beer and wine license. But because sometimes the parking, and we don't have our own parking lot, that's what Inglewood requested. And then after a while, I almost thought, you know what, sometimes it's a bigger headache. I have young people at the register. You don't want people coming in, taking advantage, trying to get no food and all liquor, because you always have ABC watching you. Because I had to deal with the same thing at the forum. If someone comes in and they've already been drinking, and then you give them some and they leave, you're liable if they get into, and these days you're in a generation or a time where everyone will sue you at the drop of a dime.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to keep it about the food.
Bayou Grille, 1400 North La Brea, 64th Place in La Brea, city of Inglewood. They are at Bayou Grille, grill with an E at the end, BayouGrille.net. And you're open every day except Tuesday. You're working hard, 6 days a week, serving it up.
Doing what we can. I don't want people to miss us.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you, Michael Smith, Bayou Grille, Crenshaw High, Pepperdine in the building. And congratulations on almost 27 years.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you
food.
very much.
Yeah, happy Wealth Building Wednesday. Okay, that's our mission. Next, we're going. If you haven't been there yet, try the Bayou Grille. I'm going to talk a little bit. We've got the mayor on deck. Lots going on around here. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm gonna have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GOLD for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GOLD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GOLD for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
You guys are funny. If you want to have fun with us, go in the YouTube. The conversation in the comment section is hilarious. Molly Bell has been to Bayou Grille. She says, we used to say eating high on the hill. Food is good, and then and now. Haven't been lately, but we'll go again soon. Yeah, I never knew Jerry Anderson, that was the stepfather of Nipsey Hussle and Blacc Sam either. But it makes sense, entrepreneurship running in the family. And I have not been there yet, but I will go. I know the logo, that little lobster. So this redistricting situation here well, it's really Texas that started it, but now California trying to counteract what Texas is doing and prevent the president from getting these 5 extra seats that he claims he deserves. And now it's not just California. New York is also looking at how they can counterbalance the gerrymandering, aka redistricting, that Texas is trying to do. So this has now become a coast-to-coast fight. Democratic governors are consulting with one another, and they are planning to push back. As I mentioned on yesterday, Governor Gavin Newsom is looking at putting something on the ballot in November, and they've got about 30 days to get it together, but they say that map is almost ready to counteract Texas. And what the governor is saying that there'll be a trigger in this so that it won't get triggered unless Texas's gerrymandering is successful. And that's significant. I think it's significant in how much support it will have, because California voters did decide that we wanted an independent redistricting commission to draw our maps. So politicians couldn't draw up districts that were sweetheart deals for themselves. Voters got pretty sick of that. However, these are dire times and they may call for extreme measures. That is an extreme measure for voters to say, you know what, we'll hold off on this independent redistricting for now, because we need to counteract this attempt by Texas to permanently make the U.S. House of Representatives Republican, which is pretty much where we are with the extreme court, the Supreme Court, through the by hook or by crook, playing fast and loose with the rules that the Republicans do and the Dems are too busy clutching our pearls to do. You know, they did not give President Barack Obama the chance to have his pick voted on. Otherwise, we'd have Justice Merrick Garland. And, wow, man, everything might be different. Like, then we would have had a different head of the DOJ who maybe would have gone after Trump, and maybe we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place, and there wouldn't be a supermajority on the court. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is because some people are still saying, no, it's not fair. We shouldn't push back because it's, you know, it's ethically, okay, I'm not imitating you, Ed Sanders, but it's ethically incorrect. Okay, it's not ideal. I do think an independent redistricting commission is ideal. But right now, we have got to fight back, or they're going to have control of our federal government for decades. 5 more seats and we just sit here and do nothing? I don't think so. So now New York is in on this battle. And Senator Alyssa Slotkin from Michigan is saying that she thinks all Democratic governors should go down this path, go nuclear, as she said. Looking forward to talking with the mayor of the city of Los Angeles. Mayor Karen Bass joins us next on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bray Wood with BIN News Now. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says a mid-decade congressional remap is on the table. He joined Texas Democrats in Chicago fighting GOP redistricting efforts.
If they're going to cheat, then all of us have to take a hard look at what the effect of that cheating is on democracy. And that means we've all got to stand up and do the right thing.
Pritzker says he doesn't want to redraw maps, but may to protect Democratic seats. Rwanda has agreed to accept up to 250 migrants deported from the U.S. under a new deal. Approved individuals will get housing, health care, and job training. Critics warn of human rights risks as Rwanda has final say on who's allowed in. And the Quiet House Library has launched online spotlighting the Black experience. It offers books for all ages, written and illustrated by Black creatives, with collections in fiction, nonfiction, film, and music. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
spending 2 hours staring at the back of someone's bumper isn't the best way to end your day. So Jack in the Box is giving you a bonus with their new Bonus Jack Combo. Fries, a drink, and a burger with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 patties, starting at just $4.49. Get so much more.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks are playing like one of the best teams in the WNBA. They beat the Indiana Fever Tuesday night 100-91 for their 7th win in the last 8 games. Kelsey Plum had 25 points and 11 assists. Rickea Jackson also dropped 25 points. The Sparks are now just 2 games below 500 at 13-15. On July 3rd, they were 5-13 and showing no signs of being a playoff contender. The Sparks are at home Thursday night against the Connecticut Sun. The Dodgers beat St. Louis 12-6. Max Muncy and Teoscar Hernandez each had 4 RBIs. The Angels lost to Tampa Bay 7-3. Tampa Bay scored all 7 of their runs in the 4th inning. And oldie but goodie is coming back to the Chargers. Wide receiver Keenan Allen, who played his first 11 seasons with the Chargers, re-signed with the team for a 1-year deal. The 33-year-old Allen played last season with the Chicago Bears. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back indeed. We have the 43rd mayor of the city of Los Angeles, first woman, second African-American to be ever elected as the city's chief executive. Mayor Karen Bass, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. How are you?
I'm blessed. It's great to hear from you. How are you?
I am doing just fine, thank you. Doing good.
We woke up to some, I'll call it gnarly news. The president is now sort of selected himself as the head of the Olympics, kind of, sort of. He's forming a task force on the 2028 games and says he would send the military back here if he decides that the games need to be protected. What does that mean, Mayor Bass?
Well, let me just tell you, I have to admit that I was not surprised by that at all. I looked at the task force, and the task force seems to be composed mainly of a number of cabinet secretaries, very high-level people, which means I don't know how functional it will be. It might be more symbolic than that.
Oh, good.
But I totally expected him to be knee-deep into the World Cup and the Olympics. These are major, major international events, and I didn't think for 1 minute that he was going to sit on the sidelines.
So you don't see this as a deal breaker for the city of Los Angeles? I mean, look,
No.
you've had to navigate this, presidency. I know you've been dealing with this since you were leading the assembly with Schwarzenegger as governor, but it's tricky, right?
Oh, it's very tricky. But if you just think about the president, there was just no way he was going to sit on the sidelines of what is poised to be the biggest and most fantastic Olympics in Olympic history. He's not going to sit on the sidelines. And in fact, we need as much support from the federal government as possible. And although obviously I've been in a fight with him now, earlier this year, what he did in terms of the recovery, we were working well. Was why the lots were cleared and all in the area so quickly. So, for me, I was there in his first 4 years. I was there 12 years and worked with from the Tea Party to, the Republicans that you see today. And it's kind of a tactical situation. There's sometimes you're fighting and there's sometimes you're cooperating. And that's what we have to have happen in our city. We cannot disengage from the federal government. If you look at the billions and billions of dollars that the city and the county and the state depend on from the federal government, we are not in a position to say it's a deal breaker, you can't be involved.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand that. Our billions that we send to them and then they send back. But I understand that. It's just, is it, when I said deal breaker, I'm thinking, is it going to be navigable? If he sends in troops and then wants to take credit for the Olympics going great, that doesn't really matter as long as the Olympics go great, right?
No, it does matter, because the last thing in the world that anyone in the world would want to see is a militarized Olympics.
Again, right, our militarized streets again, yeah.
Right, that nobody wants to see that. And so I'm certainly hopeful that will not happen. The military will be here for sure, but in the background, you know what I mean, in case there's an emergency. But not marching up and down the streets or driving up and down the streets like has been happening. And by the way, we have a great court decision, but ICE still is out there. I got pictures of them today, over at a Home Depot. So I have to look into it and see, is it different than it was before the restraining order? But there's one thing I wanted to say about this, Dominique, because we know that the raids here are predominantly, not exclusively, but predominantly focusing on Latinos. If you look at the raids in Florida, it's all black, it's Haitians. And if you look at this administration, they actually came for us first. If you remember, the first thing out of the box was DEI. And you remember DEI, a.k.a. black.
Yeah.
Because the initial firings and all were of very prominent African Americans, whether it was the head of the Library of Congress or whether it was the defense secretary. They were summarily dismissed. So, we should make no mistake about this. They came for us first. Now they're, focusing on Latinos in L.A. and Asians and some white folks, and I'm sure some black folks as well, because we have hundreds of thousands of black immigrants right here.
Yeah, absolutely, we do. The court order you're talking about was saying they can't racially profile or profile based on language and that kind of thing. But the question is, to what extent are they following that court order, I guess?
Well, that's what I want to find out, because the pictures that I saw just this morning, I want to see whether or not they have warrants. Because if they have a warrant, then, you can't really say much about that. If they have a federal warrant, that trumps local law, state law, because the federal government is the highest level of government.
Yeah.
But if they're just randomly chasing people, that's what the court order said they could no longer do. So the pictures that I saw this morning, I can't tell. I have to find out, but it is major concern.
Yeah, I mean, and you've been, you went to the park, you confronted them, you've been pretty out there with it. And I know, with the prior situation, just you trying to lead the city through the fires, you were getting, death threats and all kinds of attacks from Elon Musk and others. Are you getting that kind of pushback around the ICE situation as well?
No. Oftentimes I'm not told about threats.
Right.
But what I have been receiving is a tremendous amount of love. That's, and it's from everybody. Because one thing about him, you might remember me saying this when he was president the last time, is that he has the unique ability to bring everybody together. And and he did that in our city.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no daylight between. Everybody thought this was a bad thing.
Yeah.
And our city was very unified. And, you know, you could imagine, though, in some cities that are not as deep blue as ours, you could see different factions going at each other.
Yeah.
Some people saying, yeah, deport everybody.
Right.
But here, what took place was so egregious, everybody stood strong.
Yeah. And, you know, of course, I'm referring to threats from Border Patrol and implied threats from others in government about arresting you and things like that, which were concerning.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That continues, for sure. And not just that, by the way. You know, they have written me letters that I now have to comply with, which is setting a basis to subpoena me to go before congressional committees. Yes, I have letters from the Secretary of Transportation basically saying that I caused what they call a riot. We know what a riot is. But they said I caused it, that I was interfering, and I'm supposed to produce all of these documents, which means we had to get a lot of lawyers, you know, on the case. But those kind of letters, demand letters, are precursors to a subpoena.
One thing I have been hearing some folks in the African American community complaining about is this cash assistance to migrants. Saying, you know, we need, if you're going to do that, we should have cash assistance to homeless. So many of the unhoused are black folks.
So, you know, what that was and what it is that a group of foundations got together, approached the city, and said, we would like to give money. Can you help us get it to the right people? So there's not 10 cents of city money. This is a group of foundations that have decided this is what they want to do with their money. So I think that the confusion was around, here we are with $1 billion deficit, potentially facing layoffs, and now we're talking about giving money away.
Yeah.
So that did not happen. But, you know, the biggest challenge I've had all year is just the distortions that are done. Number one, in social media, and then number two, with Fox News and all, because they grabbed that and turned it into, you know, I basically am writing blank checks to people who are undocumented.
Yeah.
And
the crazy thing is that they're not reporting on the homicide rate being at the lowest level in 60 years. We're not, and this is a narrative that we're hearing from black mayors across the country. We're getting these great results, and LA is probably ahead of the pack, and no one seems to care.
Well, what is our history been? Ever since we've been elected to offices like this, you know, we know that when you step into these arenas that they're coming for you.
Right.
And it's interesting because the mayors that are under investigation for anti-Semitism are New York mayor, Chicago mayor, me.
All the black mayors,
you know?
right.
That's
wild.
Exactly.
But homicide is down by more than 20% just in the first half. That's a huge drop. I mean, those are historic numbers.
Homicide is down. Homelessness is down. The second year in a row, and homelessness was on a trajectory up year after year after year. This is the first decrease. So when you do have success, that disrupts their narrative, and they tend to not support it. Just like the comments the president made about me yesterday. You know, he said that that the permits aren't being issued in the Palisades. We've issued hundreds of permits. So, you know, even when you are doing, and then they described our city as being, you know, total chaos, pandemonium, riots everywhere, fires everywhere.
Right, which of course it never was.
Never was.
Never was. And, you know, he's probably talking about the struggles that they've had in Altadena, which you are not the mayor of.
No. And that's been tough because I know that's been confusing to a lot of people. Why does she only talk about the Palisades? Well, the Palisades is the only area that is in the city of Los Angeles. Altadena is an unincorporated area that doesn't have a mayor or a city council, but does have an excellent supervisor.
Mayor Karen Bass, I know you're on a really tight schedule. Appreciate you dropping by this morning. Hope to talk again soon. What do you want to say on the way out the door?
Well, I want to say that, you know, LA is strong. We are together. We need to stay together. We have a lot to do, and I know everybody's focused on, the Olympics, but I am focused on the World Cup that will be here in 10 months. It's going to be our dress rehearsal. We want to make sure that everybody in our community benefits and has access. And so stay tuned, because I'd love to come back and talk more about it.
All right, let's do it. Mayor Karen Bass of the City of Los Angeles, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. It's a great time to call me. 800-920-1580. Boy, I'm sleepy. 800-920-1580. Also, we'll be talking with attorney Cynthia McLean-Hill in hour 8. What's legal that's happening in Washington and what's not so legal? That'll be our final hour. And of course, as usual, you're invited in. I always like to talk with you, or stop by the chat, stop by any of our socials at KBLA 1580. Hit me up at DiPrima Radio, and we'll hit you back unapologetically, progressive style. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more, or visit tremfyaradio.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Fatherhood includes being present during pregnancy, delivery, and beyond, supporting your partner and advocating for your baby's health. Black fathers play a key role in reducing maternal and infant health inequalities. Join the free AIM Fatherhood Program and make a difference. Visit blackinfantsandfamilies.org/fatherhood.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad
The
Council.
following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431, and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or 2 half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Multitasking, Miles. I'm over here. We just booked Commissioner Khans Mohammed for Freedman Friday in the chat room while talking to people on the phone and urging you to call me or jump into YouTube and talk. Yay! Friday Jones is going to be back on Freedman Friday. Not this week, but coming soon to a Freedman Friday near you. This week we have attorney Sharice Cryer. So that'll be really interesting. We've got some great Freedman Fridays. And if you missed Dr. Darity, William Sandy Darity, you definitely want to go on to either YouTube where you can watch the stream or wherever you get your podcasts and listen to it. That was just such a great show. Just Dr. Darity is so brilliant, and I am going to go back. I'm not going to lie. I don't listen to all my shows over and over again. That's just not my jam. But I'm definitely going to go back and listen to that Freedman Friday because it was very, very informative. So, and Dr. Darity has agreed to do a part 2. So we'll be looking forward to that as well. 800-920-1580 is the perfect time to call me. We've got Monicia from Charlotte. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm blessed and highly favored. How art thou?
I am doing wonderful, man. I would like to talk about the issues that's going on in Washington, D.C. right now, man.
Oh, my goodness. Do it. Let's do it.
I mean, it is a hot mess right now. And then they got this Texas legislature going on that the Republicans are trying to do right now. And they trying to gerrymander Texas to get 5 more seats. The president of the United States even admitted that what they're trying to do is scam the system. It's pure illegal what's going on right now. And what the Democrats are doing is they're trying to play the same game that the Republicans are trying to do. And it's not right. You know, either way it goes.
Yeah, well, even former President Obama weighed in saying that this redistricting thing that Texas is doing is a power grab that undermines our democracy. Now California and New York are saying, well, we're going to power grab back. We're not just going to sit here and let you take 5 more seats. And some people think that's a bad idea because it can just end up in this endless tit for tat. But I feel like we got to do something, Monicia. We just can't sit here and let them take those 5 seats.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I think we should do something, and we shall do something, and we should not sit here and pretend like this is, what they're doing is okay, because it's not okay, and it disenfranchised the voters.
Right.
The people that elected them, what they're trying to do, I mean, let's be clear. Let's be clear what they're trying to do here. They're trying to disenfranchise their voters. They're trying to pick the voters in Texas.
That's exactly right.
That is what's going on
And
here.
you see the courts just upheld the same thing happening in Florida, right? With Ron DeSantis, erased one entire black district. No more black district. And the court said, okay, we're good with that. We spread those black people out into other districts so there's not enough of them to make it, to influence who wins. And they've already done it in Texas.
Wrong.
It's wrong, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yes, and I think that, you know what, at this point, I think the Democrats should do what they got to do to save these seats from these Republicans, because the Republicans know that they're going to lose. I mean, they passed a big, ugly bill.
They passed a big...
They know that they're going to lose.
Super ugly bill.
Right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Right now, they are trying to do anything and everything to try to win those seats, because they know in 2026 that the voters are not going for it.
Right,
they know that.
Just like they did anything and everything in 2024, because no one questioned anything that happened, but we know some shady business probably did happen. Meanwhile, the Texas Attorney General, Monicia, this guy Ken Paxton, announced yesterday that he's going to seek a court ruling to get the Democrats who left town to stop that vote thrown out of office. He's trying to overturn the will of the voters by getting them. Yeah. If the courts go along with that, our democracy might be doomed.
Yes, it might be the end of our democracy.
Yeah.
Because if the courts don't hold on this, if they say, okay, well, this is some shady business going on with this man Ken Paxton. I mean, he's trying to arrest the Democrats who left Texas. I mean, it's completely insane and it's bizarre, and we cannot sit here and say that this is normal. None of this is normal. This is pure politics 101. I'm sorry that I'm angry, but it makes me so angry.
Don't be sorry. Let it out, man. Yeah. That's what we're here for. Don't be sorry. I mean,
you know what I mean?
At least you're paying attention.
Yeah, and I'm a Democrat, and I strongly recommend what these Democrats is doing is okay and it's all right, because at the end of the day, you are sending a message to the Republican Party that they cannot do this. This is disenfranchised voter not only in Texas, but in Florida, in Ohio, and everywhere else that the Republicans hold a majority. Yeah. That's what this represents. And I think that we all should be paying attention and not letting this news thing go against our heads, because these are real issues that is going on here right now. This is politics 101, and we cannot sit here and act like we don't know what's going on. We know what the Republican Party is trying to do. We know what they're trying to do. They're trying to grab power, and basically they're trying to give their president another term.
Right.
Violating the Constitution.
And also to create a permanent majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. They already pretty much have a permanent majority in the U.S. Supreme Court, or like my dad used to call them, the Extreme Court. And those folks have no term limits. If they can put in a supermajority, or at least an impenetrable majority in the U.S. House of Representatives, then no Democratic president can get anything done, even if Trump loses in 2028, assuming he's going to run, because they've already had the Trump 2028 hats made. So why wouldn't he run, even though it's illegal?
Yes. Yeah, it is pure illegal what they are doing, and they know that this is wrong. They know that they are disenfranchising their own voters who put them into office in Texas. Yeah. They know that this is wrong. They know that it's pure illegal, for one, and now the Democrats are going to have to go tit for tat at this point. They have no other option at this point. The gloves come off. Enough is enough.
The gloves have to come off. And the other thing I'll say, and I don't know if you agree with this, but we're right up against news, traffic, and sports here, is that Democrats need to stop being so corporate. They need to lean into the progressive wing of the party, the Zoran Mondamis, the Bernie Sanders, because those people are promoting policies that the majority of U.S. people, regardless of party, want to see happen in this country. Monicia, I hope you'll call me again. Stay fired up. We have to stay fired up and fearless. News, traffic, and sports, then more, only right here.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says a mid-decade congressional remap is on the table. He joined Texas Democrats in Chicago fighting GOP redistricting efforts.
If they're going to cheat, then all of us have to take a hard look at what the effect of that cheating is on democracy. And that means we've all got to stand up and do the right thing.
Pritzker says he doesn't want to redraw maps, but may to protect Democratic seats. Rwanda has agreed to accept up to 250 migrants deported from the U.S. under a new deal. Approved individuals will get housing, health care, and job training. Critics warn of human rights risks as Rwanda has final say on